Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're opening up an ancient Pali text, the Mahāsamayasutta, to witness a gathering so immense, so profound, that it literally drew beings from across 10,000 galaxies. Yeah, you heard that right. We're about to step into a truly cosmic assembly.
I mean, what does happen when the entire universe decides to show up and listen? We're not talking about just any old meeting here. This is a full-on cosmic congress, and believe me, the guest list is completely out of this world.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with the Buddha meditating deep in this huge, sprawling forest, a place of just incredible peace and quiet. But here's the thing. He is definitely not alone, not by a long shot.
See, he's with 500 of his disciples. Now that's a pretty big number, and it's definitely significant. But it's not just about the head count, you know? What's really crucial here is who these disciples were.
Yeah, these weren't your average students. Every single one of them was an arahant. And what's an arahant? It's someone who has achieved full enlightenment, totally free from the cycle of rebirth. Just try to imagine that for a second. A collective stillness so deep you could almost touch it, a purity so powerful it literally called out across the cosmos.
And it worked. This gathering was so momentous that deities from 10 different world systems, basically the entire known universe, all turned their attention to this one spot in this one forest. Mind-boggling, right? So, the first beings to actually arrive and speak up were 4 deities from the highest of the high celestial realms, what are called the pure abodes. They couldn't just, watch from the sidelines. They had to come and bear witness, and each one of them offered a verse of praise.
The first one basically announces why they're all there, to see the invincible Saṅgha. The Saṅgha, for those who don't know, is the community of these enlightened monks. And right now, in this forest, they are the main event of the entire universe.
Then the second deity chimes in, praising the monks for their unbelievable mental discipline. And I just love this imagery, it's so cool. They're compared to master charioteers holding the reins. So they're not just sitting there passively, right? They're actively, skillfully guiding their senses and thoughts with total precision.
The next verse is just brilliant because it really gets at their spiritual freedom. It talks about cutting the stake and uprooting the boundary post. These are just powerful metaphors for all the attachments and delusions that, tie the rest of us down. And these monks, they've shattered every single one. And finally, the fourth deity talks about the ultimate payoff for anyone who follows this path. Total liberation from suffering and a future in the divine realms. I mean, talk about a message of profound hope. You can almost feel it echoing through the forest.
Well, after hearing all this praise from the heavens, the Buddha decides it's time to let his monks in on just who is attending. He starts this incredible cosmic roll call, naming all the different beings who've gathered. So, let's find out who exactly made the guest list.
First up, you've got thousands of yakas. Now, these are powerful nature spirits, often seen as pretty fierce, tied directly to the earth. But here, the text makes a point of describing them as radiant, glorious, and just plain happy to be there.
Then, the big guns arrive, the 4 great kings, the guardians of the entire world. You've got one for the east, south, west, and north. And each one of them isn't coming alone. Oh no, they're leading these huge entourages of their own subjects. We're talking celestial musicians, spirit guardians, serpent deities, the whole shebang.
And the list keeps going. Powerful nagas, these mythic serpent beings, they come up from the waters. And then, and this is a big deal, the asuras show up. Now, the asuras are basically titans, the ancient enemies of the gods, always at war. But even they hit pause on their cosmic grudge match to come and see what was happening.
At this point, the gathering has just swelled to an unbelievable size. You've got gods of the elements, water, earth, fire, wind, gods representing concepts like compassion and mercy. Even the deities of the sun, the moon, and all the stars. It's like a complete who's who of all the cosmic forces, all gathered in one spot. But you know how it is. Just when everything is perfectly peaceful, this magnificent assembly is at its absolute peak. A dark presence arrives. And this one has a single disruptive goal, to tear it all down.
And who is it? It's Mara, the tempter, the literal embodiment of delusion. He rolls up with his dark army, and he's not subtle about it. He's not whispering temptations in their ears. No, he is shouting, bellowing commands to his forces. Seize them, bind them with passion. Don't let a single one escape.
And this is really the heart of the whole story, the ultimate contrast. On one side, you have Mara's army, all chaos, aggression, and fear. And on the other side, the monks, responding with pure stillness, insight, and a calm that cannot be shaken. This is it, the final exam for enlightenment.
So how does this epic showdown end? With a huge battle, right? Gods and demons clashing? Nope. The Buddha just calmly tells his monks, hey, be aware that Mara enters here. The climax isn't a fight. It's something else entirely. Something way more profound.
So here they are, facing this absolutely terrifying scene, an army of darkness literally screaming for their destruction. And what do the 500 arahants do? They remain perfectly still. Not even a hair on their bodies stirs. Their minds are so pure, so liberated, that fear and anger just can't find a foothold.
And that's the whole point, isn't it? Their inner peace acted like an impenetrable shield. All of Mala's rage, all his threats, his entire dark army, it was all completely useless against their stillness. There was nothing to push against, nothing to corrupt. He was defeated by peace itself and had no choice but to retreat.
The text concludes by celebrating this incredible victory. But it's not a victory of force over force. It's a victory of a perfected mind. As the sutta says, all are victors in the battle, passed beyond fear. They won, not by fighting, but by being so free that the conflict couldn't even touch them.
And that really leaves us with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? When we're faced with chaos in our own lives, where do we find our stillness? Because maybe true strength isn't about fighting the storm. Maybe it's about finding that unshakable, quiet center right in the middle of it.